Hi everyone. So we're going to get ready for our math lesson today. It is 12.5. So please make sure you're opening your math books to page 315. Make sure you have a whiteboard, pencil, maybe. I think you're just going to really need a pencil for this one. So if you can go grab that, put us on pause if you need to get up and go. If not, let's continue. All right. So today we're going to be relating fractions, decimals, and money. So I want you to look at the I can statement. It says, I can use hundredth models, fractions, and decimals to represent money amounts. So let's step it out. Let's take a peek at this. It says the coins show the amount of change Frankie receives from the cashier. How much change does Frankie receive? Write the amount as a fraction of a dollar and as a decimal dollar amount. All right, so let's take a peek. I want to read this one more time. So now we kind of have a feeling of what the problem is about. Let's read it one more time now. It says the coins show the amount of change Frankie receives from the cashier. So here's the amount right here. Here's the picture that he receives. How much change does Frankie receive? Write the amount as a fraction of a dollar and as a decimal dollar amount. All right, so one way to count this up is just simply count the money. And so you have 25 cents, and I like to make them into tens, groups of 10. So here's 25. If I add 5 to that, it makes this 30. And then we have 40, 50, 51, 52, 53. Okay, remember our quarters are worth 25 cents. The dimes are worth 10 cents, and our nickel is worth 5 cents. So adding the 25 and the 5 gives us 30, 40, 50, 1, 2, 3. So it's asking how much money in cents do the coins represent? So if you said 53 cents, you would be correct. Okay, let's slide down to the next. It says, B, shade the hundredths model to show the money amount. The whole represents a dollar. So this whole represents $1. So what you're going to do is you're going to shade in the amount above. So I'm going to use my square, and I'm going to shade in 53. So remember now, each one of these columns equals 10. So if I go down 10, whoops, 20, actually I think I can copy. Oops. Nope. Oh, let me do it. 30, 40, and let's do one more to represent 50 out of the 100. So here's 50, but it's not 50, it's actually 53. So remember, we're trying to represent 53 on the hundreds. So let's fill in 3 more. 1, 2, 3. So your model should look like this. Let's save that. Oops. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3. All right, so we've represented it on the hundreds model. Now let's take a peek. They want us to select the arrow to show the hundredths model shaded to show the money amount. Okay. Oh, so there we go. Sorry, that's what it is. I knew the answer was here. So that's what it should look like. All right, so now we're going to name the amount as a fraction of a dollar. So let's see. Let's look at our choices. It says 53 over 1. That doesn't sound right. 53 over 10. Now, can you have 53 of something out of 10? That doesn't make sense. Let's look at our last choice. 53 out of 100. This would be your choice because you're talking about how many parts out of the whole. And we know this whole is filled with 100. It represents 100. And so we only need 53. So here we go. Let's check it. And we are right. Okay, so now we've represented it with a fraction on a model. And now we're going to rename the amount as a decimal. So, do we have any whole number here? We don't. There isn't. So we're going to represent that with a 0. Okay. Now we know that we have 50 and 3 here as a decimal. So let's check. 53 equals 0.53. Okay, we went to the hundredths position because the 3 is in that hundredths position. So we need to represent it with 0.53. Okay, and now the difference between this one here and the one down below, E, it says write the amount of change Frankie receives as a decimal dollar amount, is right here, this dollar. Okay, so how many dollars did Frankie get back? He didn't. There was a 0. But he did get 53 cents back. Let's take a peek. So it looks like this. The only difference between the decimal and the dollar amount, the decimal dollar amount, is that they have the money symbol in front. So we're talking about money. All right. Yeah, let's go to your next page. So turn to page 316. And we're going to step it out. So let's look at this one. It says cauliflower is on sale for $2.63. Write the money amount as a mixed number and as a decimal, and then describe the bills and the coins that could show that money amount. So remember we were talking about that mixed number. Mixed number is when you have, it represents a whole amount with a fraction or a decimal amount. And so in this case, we have a whole amount and a decimal. So we have I'm going to write it right here, 2 whole dollars and 63 cents. So I'm going to represent it with my dollar sign. I'm not sure it's letting me do that. 63 cents. And so they want us to shade the hundredths model to show the money amount. Each whole represents a dollar. So if you think about this, this here is $1, this is $2, and this is $3. But the thing is we only have 2 full dollars, and we have 63 cents. So how can we represent that? Well, this can be considered $1 if we shade in this entire model. And this one here could represent the second dollar. And now the third is going to represent the 63. So just like I did with the other one, I'm going to actually take this one here and I'm going to mark it. It's a perfect 6 if you do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to just cheat and shade it all in at one time. So there's 60 behind here, but we still need to represent the 3. So I got to make a teeny one here. I'm going to make this really small and then drag it down over 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here we have represented on the model $2.63. Okay, so it should, and it does, look like this. Okay, so make sure your model looks the same. Take a moment and color that in. So now they want us to, on B, they want us to write the amount as a mixed number. So remember, the whole number is going to be right here on this next to the fraction. So we know we have 2 wholes. So they all have 2 wholes. But now we got to figure out what's the fraction look like. So if we think that this here, we said it's 63 out of 100, which one of these represents that? Is it 2 and 63 100ths? 2 and 63 tenths? Or 2 and 63 over 1? Okay, I'm hoping that all of you said, ding, 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 first one here, 2 over with 63 over 100, because it's 63 out of 100. All right. Let's take a peek at this one. Write the amount as a decimal. So in this case, do we have any whole number? We do have a whole number, and it happens to be 2. And then out of 100, so we need to now use both of these place value positions on the other side of the decimal to represent the 63. That 3 falls in the hundredths place value position, so we need to have, we know that it's going to be out of 100. So let's check it. And we would be correct. 2.63. 2.63. All right, so now remember, we're now going to use and create a decimal dollar amount. And we know that because here's the dollar sign. And so we know that he got $2. And in this case, this decimal point, you're going to say the word and. So $2 and 63 cents. Okay, $2.63. So I like this last one. I pulled up my little board over here because this one here, it says, what bills and coins could show that amount? Well, let's see. I'm going to click on my bills. We know there's going to be 2 whole dollars. So I'm going to click $1 and a second dollar, I think. There we go. And a second dollar. So this represents $2, 2 full dollars. And now we need to represent 63 cents. Well, there's several ways to do it. Now, when you're dealing with money, a lot of the times you really want to take and create the smallest amount using the least amount of coins is what I'm trying to say. So how would we do that representing 63? Well, we know that the quarter represents, why are they doing that? 25 cents. Do I have to drag it over? I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, here we go. 1. And then a second one. So we have 2 quarters. Each quarter is 25 cents. And if you add 2 25 cents together, you're going to get 50 cents. But the amount we're trying to create is $2.63. So here's our $2. Here's 50 cents. How are we going to get ourselves up to 63? Well, from 50, we can add another dime, and that would bring us to 60, and then 3 pennies. So 1, 2, and 3. So 63 cents. Okay, you could represent this in another way if you chose to as well. You could take one of these quarters and make it 2 dimes and a nickel. 2 10 cents and 1 5 cents. That'll equal a quarter. You could take these quarters here and create and use 5 10-cent pieces or 5 dimes. Okay, but here is how it would look. All right, my friends, so what I want you to do now is go to your HMH and complete the on your own. Have a good day. We'll see you soon.